The game's EFT. You launch this game, you get blacked every day.
Hey guys, King Alman here. As that intro just said, you always get black when you play EFT. Hopefully this video helps you get blacked a little less. This video is just for new players or people that want to kind of learn the meta, and some of my friends that need help that keep asking. I made one like 3 years ago or something, and this is just gonna be a do-over with the. Hopefully it's not as scuffed. Anyways, there's gonna be background footage in the back, and the footage in the back is gonna be early wipe 12.9. I'm pretty new to this and probably bad at it, so bear with me. The first thing we're talking about is ammo. The link in the description on screen will help you with that. The two main things about ammo on EFT is pen and damage. The rest of the shit doesn't matter until you familiarize you with the game itself. So screw a lot of shit. Obviously, if ammo has like plus 26% recoil, don't use that ammo. That's why people use M62 over M80, especially on 12.9 after the M62 nerf, because it has less of a recoil debuff. Let's progress along. So why is ammo the best? Because people wear armor and helmets, and you need ammo to go through that. Ammo literally wins you fights in this game. There's 3 ammo types that really will never change in EFT. Whether you take a year's break or 2 weeks or 2 months, they will always be the best and most reliable. First one's M61. Any EFT vet knows that M61 has been the best ammo and probably will be the best ammo for a long time. The reason being is it pens anything on Earth. It can be shot from the 58, SA58, MDR, the DVL, like every sniper in the game that's actually good. And it's just a very powerful round. Second best ammo is 55A1. The reason M855A1 is probably the second best can be argued that it's not, but most people will say it is because it's cheap and it can be shot out of any 5.56 rifle. On top of that, it has the fastest muzzle velocity of, I think, any bullet, or at least for the ARs, they do, making it the best ammo to even snipe with, because it's point click and boom, you don't have to lead too much, not much drop, etc. Third best ammo is 7.62 BP. This one is because it's usually cheap later into the wipe than the first two ammos I mentioned. But the reason it's third is because it's put into either bolts, semis, or slow fire guns. But with that said, the SKS is like one of the best early wipe guns 'cause it's cheap. You don't need any mods in it, and if you get BP, you just chamber it in there, and it can tap through anything. It takes like 2 to an Alton, but not many people are running level 6 and all that shit. Day 1 to 5 of the wipe. So that's the reason that 762 BP is going to be really good. So there's no ammo because the amount of times that I've seen other streamers, YouTubers, and myself, my friends, like they'll be like, we've seen like level 30s, 40s. You should know what you're doing by then, and you're running like M6A1 and a fully kitted M4. And there's a reason that I would win that fight over you if you were using the good ammo you would have won it. Second thing, sorry, is to talk about is fire rate on EFT. The reason is if you've seen my streams, anyone who's got EFT, or my montages, whatever you want to call them, you'll see that people play EFT at a certain level when they're really good at the game. To perform like that, you need the highest fire rate gun usually in your hand. Also, EFT is, you look at an enormous head in this game, and the netcode's pretty bad. So headshots are a big thing on this game. Again, you need good fire rate to get headshots. And the last thing is this game is very team oriented now. In the last 2 years with what they've done. So if you're in a 1v2, 1v3, or you're W king people really hard, you need a high fire rate gun to melt the first guy or get the headshot on the first guy and then spray transfer the rest of the team. If you're running around with like, I don't know, the AKs, let's say, you're gonna have a very difficult time 1v3 compared to someone using an HK in a 1v3. Even if the AK is hitting harder with 7.62 BP, The HK gets a bigger magazine at 60 and it shoots 850, and I think the AKs only shoot 600 RPM. It's a big difference on this game. So know the fire rate of the gun. If it fits your playstyle, use it. Just know anything over 800 is always a good measure to take. Third thing to talk about is your kit. A lot of people will be running around with like almost cucking themselves type kicks. They'll run like a penis helmet, a trooper, and like a unmodded M4 with 55A on it. There's no point in running like decent gear and then not modding your gun and then putting like some of the best ammo in that gun, unless you're doing it for fun or something. Because when you're in a fight, you're gonna miss every shot with an M4 that's not modded, simply because it's not modded. So make sure you put a kit together. The kit that I'm going to show you here is like one of the best money farming kits. The 762 MDR is one of the best money farming guns. You don't really need the best aim with it, even though with 12.9 you kind of do now. Other than that, you can use the Hunter instead of it. The reason being is they take M61, M62, M80. Early wipe M80, M62 is really good. M61 will always be good at any type of the wipe, any time in the wipe. MDR is really good. It's a very cheap gun. It doesn't take much to mod. Easily accessible. On top of that, it goes full auto. I mean, what more do you need? You want to use the diaper rig. I'm not sure what ragman level it is, but it'll be on screen. The reason being is it's 50k and it gives you a vest and armor. Next thing will be a backpack. Probably want to bring one. Other than that, that's your morning farming kit. Just make sure your kit is reasonable. When it comes to headsets, use it if you want. You don't need to, but you probably should. Helmets are all about ricochet chance. The penis helmet's the one you want to use. Early wipe, later into wipe, there's no point because M61 is going to go through it. Don't use the LZSH. It's like medium ricochet chance. It's shit. And the face shield is the same face shield you put in a fast MT, which is like 40k. So don't be that guy. Use the penis helmet if you can't afford a better helmet. Now we can talk about player spawns. So a good one to talk about is Trailer Park Spawn on Customs, and then the spawn by Junkyard Bridge. Knowing these two spawns is really good because the Trailer Park spawn is going to get tested by two spawns. The guy at Junkyard is just going to get a freebie to dorms. That simple information allows you to figure out how many squads or people are going to be on that side of Customs, especially if you spawn there and you start hearing shooting, you already know what's going on. Like like they're already contesting each other, spawn kills happening, whatnot. Um, Other things to know are like high loot areas, like the crates that are good loot on customs or any map, scab bus spawns, AGS, the mounted grenade launcher stuff, and the mounted machine gun, the dishcum. Just those little things will add up because when you hear shit going down, you'll know where to look or go, or you'll just know. Thing EFT is a shithole game. Just acceptance essentially of EFT and its issues because a lot of experienced players have this issue. So you need to view your gear as a slot value, especially with found in raid. No one really cares about PvP gear unless you're running like level 6 shit. Because you can go PvE and make more money than killing a player. So just think of everything that you have on your character and your gun as a slot value. Like if you're wearing a tactic, just think of it like don't look at it as like 400k because honestly that's nothing. It's like probably like 15 slots, so do the math. You can go loot one toolbox, two, and make that money back, which takes you like 2 minutes to do. So once you start thinking of a gear as a slot value and really understand like this big piece of gear on me or this weapon is like 400k, but if you put it like in your stash and then realize how many slots it actually takes up, it will make it more easy for you to use better gear. And the reason you want to use better gear is because it will allow you to play how you think you would play the game. A lot of people don't play the EFT how it kind of is being played by better players, mostly because of gear fear. Um, Leading in, segueing essentially off that is understanding EFT is an arena looter shooter. Once you understand this, you'll be instantly better at EFT. Do not think of EFT as a military sim or an open world game. It's literally an arena shooter. People spawn in, people leave. It's almost like a more in-depth VR. The reason I say to understand this is because it will, one, make you play a lot differently, aka faster. Two, not really care about dying. Three, not care about your gear as much. And four, like you just understand that like people move on the map very quickly. People want to loot. It's an arena looter shooter. So when you spawn in, people are already moving. They're going. Like in an open world game like DayZ and stuff, people are like scouting and stuff. It's not the case on DayZ. Most people, I mean, on EFT, most people on EFT like they get in. If they have a good spawn, they go to dorms. So if you're near dorm spawn, you should know someone's going there. Again, arena looter shooter. And the third thing is accepting that some of your deaths on EFT are just out of your hands. You'll be running down interchange, get one tapped. You'll be in a 1v3 and die. You understand that even the best EFT players die on this game, especially in more than the 1v2. Reason being is, as we talked about earlier, is EFT gives headshots like no other game. Like your head is extremely big on EFT. It's really easy to get headshots, especially with the full auto going on, the fire rates, and the high capacity magazines. Spraying at someone and getting headshot is not hard. Um, so if you're in a 1v3, you have a 33% chance of getting headshotted. If one of those guys is an HK with a 6 round mag, I mean, that's almost like a 99%. Like, it might even be like a 900% that you're being headshotted by someone in that team of three. So if you're in a team fight, just know, like, if you take 2 down, 3 down, like, that's a win in a book as a solo player. Because to take everyone down in a team, it there has to be a lot of luck on your side. The team needs to fall apart. You need to be in the greatest position. You need to land your shots right away. Like there's a lot of things that need to go in your favor, and there's not a lot of things that have to go in the team's favor to win because there's three of them. If you mess one of them up, they have two people covering that guy. Especially with heavy bleeds and all that stuff going on now. If they land like one heavy bleed on you, it's game over for you unless you somehow wipe them all. Again, that's why we want to use best ammo, highest fire rate, good recoil and ergo build. It's the only way you're gonna win against teams. Not, I mean, aim is there, but also the utility you're using needs to be like competent enough to compensate your aim. Um, the fourth thing, or whatever, fourth, third thing, whatever one, you need to realize about EFT is like your skills play a big part in PvP. So if you're really good at aiming this game from CS:GO and stuff, and some guy just like quick peeks you or something, there's a big chance that he has high level strength. High level strength, well, strength in general gives you a movement bonus in EFT, which is complete BS. It should be removed. So pretty much people that play the game more move faster. They will strafe faster. They'll peek. They'll just do everything faster. So that's why some of your deaths literally look like a ghost killed you, because the guy's just moving so fast. Like he will swing around the corner and kill you. Understand that. Play against it. That's also why you don't hold the angles on EFT on top of the bandit code. Um, so understand skills. That strength is pretty busted, and perception. It's really hard to get high level perception, but once people do, they can hear you across like the map. Not really, but it's pretty far. It's two big advantages in PvP are those two. Let's move on to the next topic, which will just be like generic like EFT meta and cheese. It's the reason I call it that because it's like EFT is not meant to be played how a lot of people play, like myself or other streamers and stuff. No, I don't think many people agree that EFT should be played like Call of Duty, which is kind of how it's being played right now by good players. The reason for that is because they have no inertia. There's no penalty to the player. Nothing really preventing them with severe consequences from like just holding W and rounding corners and full autoing. The best things they can do to remove that is add inertia, remove high cap mags, and then lastly, just make every gun almost semi-auto. Like, I mean, just it's kind of stupid that every gun's full auto. It's kind of just dumb because everything's just a mag dump sim right now. But anyways, so just know that, and the generic cheese and meta of like good EFT players is like b hopping, the whatever your uh what key is that looks over your shoulder. Mine's middle mouse. Using that to your advantage. You can AD strafe really fast. Things like that will make you better in PvP. Limiting yourself to right side peaks only. Your character holds your gun with the right hand, therefore, if you right side peek someone, they see less of you. But if you're forced to left side peek someone, they see more of you before you see them. See what else? Like other things like the STG6 stim, the blue stim. Using that early wipe really messes with people because you outposition people because the stim gives you essentially max endurance. Using stims to your advantage, there'll be a few on screen to make like just stims that you can use, mule stim, melanoma, or whatever it's called, or probably like some of the best stims to use in the game when you're early level. The bee hopping is something really good to get at if you can. You can use it to limit info because you can bee hop and they won't have an info. You can use it to get info, be up across the doorway and then look over your shoulder. You'll see them, or just if you don't know how to do both, you can just do the bee hop and they'll shoot at you. Then you know where they are. Another good thing to do in EFT is if you're like panicking or don't know where someone is, but just kind of know where they are, just don't know exactly, just shoot in the general direction. Most of the time they'll shoot back. Then you know where they are. Grenades are the biggest thing on EFT in terms of utility to get info. Use them to rotate, use them to push, use them to do anything you do on EFT. Mask your footsteps, drops, whatever. Like it's the best utility. The best grenades to use for like extreme EFT gameplay is probably M67, 5-second fuse time, or the F1 because F1 got nerfed. So essentially, you throw the nade and you can just peek with the nade thrown or push the nade, especially if it's M67. If you know what you're doing, if you know the map, you can pull it off. If you're new, don't try it until you're good at the basics. But well, that should be it. I'm gonna make a video, like more videos, kind of focusing on some parts, like the bee hopping and shit. But let me know how bad that video was. Said probably is dog shit, and hopefully it helps someone. All right, you guys have fun and don't get blacked.